I Got the Hell Out does contain explicit content that might not be suitable for some listeners, such as children, those that easily get offended, and we do recommend that listeners at work put your earbuds in if you have coworkers around.
And if you like the show, please spread the word by telling as many people as you can. Would also appreciate if you would subscribe, rate, hopefully with 5 stars, and review the podcast on iTunes. You can find us there as well as on Stitcher and Overcast. You can follow us on Twitter at WasInACult, on Facebook at I Got the Hell Out, and on Instagram at I Got the Hell Out with an underscore after each word. You can contact us through our website at IGotTheHellOut.com.
Hi guys, it's Deb.
And Laura.
And it's a so early morning episode of
Sorry.
I Got the Hell Out. And yeah, because guess where we're going today?
Pierogi Festival.
At Kennywood.
And you're going to smuggle in your milk?
My medical milk, yes.
That's true.
I'm not smuggling it. And I showed you all of the old Kennywood cups because you get refills for $1.
If they're even open, though. Those drink places might not be open.
I don't know. Anyway,
Anyway.
I got milk. No. I brought them in case you wanted them. Medical milk. I'm taking milk, and then I'm riding rides.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, we're riding rides.
By
the time this comes out,
yeah,
it'll be over with.
Well, no, because we're putting it out before we go.
I know, but a lot of people wait till Monday.
I know. But anybody who's listening now, hi, we're going to Pierogi Fest. Meet up with us.
Find us.
Find us. Okay, where are we going?
What do you have first? Pending post?
Well, I have a Kool-Aid recipe if I can get to it.
All right, go for it.
Okay. I am not like prepared this morning, you know that.
I know, or awake. Neither am I really.
Okay, this Kool-Aid recipe comes from Sarah L.
Okay.
And it's called the Knuckleball. What?
I just like that name. Okay.
Yeah. You have to make it in a shaker, and it's 2 ounces of brown sugar bourbon.
Ooh.
Have you ever heard of it?
No, but oh my God, does that sound good?
Okay, and she puts yum after that. 1 ounce of lemon Kool-Aid, a half an ounce of simple syrup, and 2 dashes of Angostura. Angostura. I don't know what that is.
Those bitters?
Yeah, how'd you know that?
'Cause
aromatic bitters.
Bitters, right? It's kind of like spicy.
Okay. You add
not spicy, but like clove, cinnamon type.
You add ice and shake, strain into a tumbler of fresh ice and garnish with a lemon twist or a cherry. That's a knuckleball.
That's like kind of like an old fashioned.
I don't know.
That sounds so damn good.
Brown sugar bourbon.
That sounds delicious.
They're like banning all of these vape flavors that appeal to children.
Right.
Okay, how many vodka flavors do we have here in the United States that would appeal to children? Seriously? I mean...
Yeah, but you gotta be 21 to buy it.
Yeah, like your kid is gonna, be 21. Meanwhile, you got cotton candy flavored vodka sitting in your cupboard. Seriously.
I don't know.
Anyway, so approve. And Gabrielle, we're in pending post, so we might as well start there, right?
Go for it.
Gabrielle M. She says if you go to the library in the Pittsburgh area, and I wonder if this is everywhere, Laura. I mean, this is a wonderful idea, okay?
You mean like the Carnegie, all the branches? So it's probably all the branches.
But I'm wondering, if this should be throughout the country, okay, what I'm about to read,
Okay.
If you go to the library in the Pittsburgh area, a lot of the books have a bookmark inside that says, don't want to ask, okay?
Don't want to ask what?
It lists 23 topics, call numbers, including abuse, alcohol, bankruptcy, bullying, date rape, etc.
Oh my God.
So that you don't have to share what might be a very frightening private issue that you have with a stranger if you aren't comfortable navigating the computer catalog.
That is awesome.
23 different, subjects that you might be really embarrassed to ask the librarian for help.
Or anybody.
Even
that is so fantastic.
And I have quite a few friends that are pretty much computer illiterate. So they wouldn't even know how to go into a library and use the card catalog anymore.
There is no card catalog.
Well, it's computerized.
It's computerized. Well, you know what? The place where I get my hair cut, like you go into this room and change, put this robe on, like if you're getting your hair colored, they have little slips of paper in there, like, are you being abused? Do you feel threatened? And they have a phone number. So you can just take it in there.
Right.
And you don't have to ask anybody.
There's a lot of bars in Pittsburgh now that you order a certain drink, like a Pink Fairy or something. And
doesn't that mean like walk me to my car
it
or
means
something?
I want out of this situation, and they
Right.
will separate you and the person somehow. Like, oh, we have a problem with the bill, and ask the other person to come with them and scoot you out the back door.
Right.
So yeah, the world's becoming a better place.
Yeah.
I think, but we shouldn't have to have these measures to begin with.
No, but unfortunately, I'm glad they're there though.
Yes. Lori S has a question for you.
For me?
Yes.
Oh my.
She says, Halloween is coming up. As the witch sorcerer, can Laura tell us a good potion to put on our broomsticks? I'd like a good trip. Hoo-ha. She'd like a good hoo-ha trip.
She'd like a good trip for her hoo-ha.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. As long as it's not like some essential oil.
No.
It's
You don't want to get Ben Gay there either.
No.
There's a lot of things you don't want to get close
like
to.
Like eucalyptus. No. None of that good stuff. I will have to research that.
Okay. Zoe Z. She got ZZ. Okay. Her favorite Deb quote of all time is on episode 80.
Okay.
We were discussing you were going to the escape room.
Oh, yeah.
Did you escape?
We had like 6 minutes to spare.
But you escaped.
Hell yeah.
But her favorite quote was, you asked me if I've ever been to an escape room, and I went, I escaped a cult, Laura. I think that's a little harder to do.
You know what? I have to admit, that is one of my favorite quotes. I have to agree with her.
Oh, that's funny.
That was,
just popped out that day.
But you know
I just
what?
couldn't
That was
believe
priceless.
you asked me that.
It was priceless, and I didn't even see it coming.
Coffee
break.
It's too early for milk, and beer's not even on
milk
the
is for
distant
Kennywood.
horizon.
Milk's for Kennywood.
Yes, and I brought slushies for us, and we're going to eat pierogies. I am so excited.
God, I can't wait.
I'm just going to post this, but Diana L. says, is your child being lured into witchcraft?
Oh, and how do you know?
Would you like to know the warning signs?
I would love to know the warning signs.
They pray for peace. They honor nature. They take part in healing ceremonies. They love animals. They hope for the future. They believe in gender and racial equality.
All of these things are just so terrible.
They have no
right?
patience with bigots. They're trying to build a better world. They don't want anyone to get hurt.
Now, why would anybody want that, right?
I have... Okay, I was saving this for later, but I am technologically inept, as we know. And somebody sent me something that said, well, on the pending post, that said they sent me a private message.
Okay.
I couldn't find it. So after about 10 minutes of navigating, I went, oh my gosh, look, here's a secret folder that if you're not connected on Facebook, they send the message there.
Oh, get out.
Yeah, so I had answered 23 people yesterday.
You learn something new every day. I had no idea.
Yeah. Hi, Lisa P. She's in Australia.
Hey.
And she has a spare room if we ever want to go visit.
Sweet.
We got a couple people to go visit in Australia.
And I have 2 friends there.
Why are we still sitting here?
I have no idea, but I have 2 friends there just waiting for us to... They said, and all you have to do is pay the airfare.
I was actually texting her back and forth last night when I was writing the show, and they're 10 hours ahead of us. So I was in the future, technically. Just like Little Man, I maybe that's how he does it. Oh, no, that's right. He is time.
He is time, that's right.
Totally forgot about that. Anyway, shout out to Yelisa. She had some very nice things to say. She feels like we're her mates. And you and me reminded her bestie, Mandy. Hi, Mandy.
Hey.
So anyway, we're picking up, and she started all the way from episode 1.
Oh,
and
God
still
bless
love
you.
Oh. And she's still with us. I love you, girl.
Oh.
My mother gave me another ear chewing yesterday.
About what?
Listening to the first 28 episodes for Kool-Aid recipes.
Oh, poor lady had to listen to... Oh.
Yeah. And I'm not going to find it. I know I'm not going to find it. There were so many people that got back to me. Oh, hold on. I got something to read, too. Let me see. Where's it go at? Oh, Chris E. Okay. Me and her texted back and forth, and she actually gave me the articles that I'm going to read here in a minute.
Ooh, okay.
Because, like I told her, when I first got out, I really kept to keeping up with them in the news and wherever they made news, whether it was the radio, the newspaper, a magazine, a radio show, a television show. And over the years, for my own sanity, I kind of quit doing it. And I put the cult completely out of my mind. And now here we are back into it, completely and fully. Yay!
Now, is she an ex-member, or did she just happen to find these?
No. I actually apologized to everybody. You know, I just found the secret stash of messages. Sorry, it took
I
me
didn't
this
even
long.
know this existed. Learn something new every day.
Let's see. She was one of the early, August 15th, okay, is when she texted me. But some of these went all the way back to like last year.
Oops.
And I apologized, and she says, "Oh my gosh, that's okay. I'm thrilled that you actually talk to your fans." And let me say, I don't have fans. I have friends that I've never met. I have soulmates. I have family that's not blood. People, I have a tribe, and we gravitate towards each other. And if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't meet all these cool people. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So you're not a fan, you're a friend. And here we go with an article, okay?
Okay.
Cultist denied father access and loses custody.
Okay.
Okay. Mother of a follower of a rockabilly singer who founded the church. You got to remember, he's rockabilly.
I know, but I'm cracking
Did you
up.
ever see that black and white picture of him? And he's trying to look like Elvis, and he's got the microphone
God.
in his hand, and he's like
No,
oofing across
I
the
have
stage.
not. Oh, God.
I'll have to pull that one up for you.
Oh, yeah,
you
have to.
It's hysterical. Rockabilly. He actually made a record. I forget what it's called.
What?
Yeah. And anyway.
Is he singing on it?
Well, yeah.
Or, I mean, is he just playing the instrument and somebody
No,
else is singing?
he's singing it.
So he's the whole shebang. He's
I don't know.
singing.
There's other people with instruments in the background, so. But it's just the pose of him strutting on stage. And it's the only one I know of him and his band.
His band.
This story just gets weirder and weirder when you think about everything. Do you know what I mean?
All right, continue.
Okay, a mother's refusal to let her children see their father has cost her custody of them in a strange divorce case that pitted Christianity against a cult and the religious rights of children against those of their parents. The children, a 7-year-old boy and a 5-year-old girl, are torn between their parents' faith, but deserve the influence of both, a judge ruled. They will therefore live with their father in Toronto, Ontario. The mother spirited them away to the state's headquarters of Little Man's apocalyptic cult.
Oh.
So the judge ruled, needed both parents, but mom took off. The justice was forced to balance custody between the father, whom she suspected of encouraging the children to hit their mother and attack her with knives.
What?
And the mother, whose cultist religion is so weird that her young son and daughter cannot share a bedroom for fear of incest.
Oh, God.
The mother tried to add her own condition to the dispute, saying that she would refuse custody if their 39-year-old father were granted even the most basic access. This is a very difficult decision, the judge wrote, before ultimately siding with the father. Testimony from both sides struck her as unreliable. The children were raised mainly by their mother, and their father has been largely absent from their lives, once because he was deported to the Caribbean. Okay, now see, in the cult, they have people deported. Okay? A lot of times people will come to the cult for a feast on a
And just stay.
visa.
And just stay.
And they just never leave. But then when Little Man gets mad at you, yeah.
He boots your ass out.
He calls immigration on you. Or he has somebody call immigration.
Right.
Yeah, that's where Mariah went. Mariah went back to Canada after spending 20 years here or so.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and then Mariah's wife, of course, she's still here. And now she's Little Man's concubine, wife, I don't know. But yeah, just call immigration. Okay, anyway, it goes on for a bunch of stuff, but it's a very long, early last winter, just before the trial, the mother offered to give up custody of her children and get out of their lives if her ex-husband would pay her $30,000, the judge said. When he refused, she dropped the price by half, saying she needed at least $15,000 for a new car. Again, he refused. So these people are just out of their minds.
So, like, that's the price she's putting on her kids.
To get out of their lives.
Oh, my God.
And because in the cult, you're taught, you'll see your kids in heaven. You just have to stay firm, hold on, and be strong.
This is so messed up.
The whole place is messed up, Laura. Come on.
Well, yeah, but just like, ugh.
Yeah. We have a new ally.
Do tell.
Do tell. I'm just going to call him Chachi.
From Happy Days?
Anyway, his name's Chachi.
Chachi, all right.
Hey, Chachi. How's the fawns do it?
Hey.
Okay, well, Chachi seems to live in that town. Could be a spy for all I know. I don't really think so. But they gave us a lot of good information.
Ooh.
They write to say, I just wanted to let you know I live just up the street from the cult. Nothing has changed except they are buying up land around here like crazy. At one time, my mother-in-law lived in the house that I live in now, and there was only 3 trailers in this area. Now, little man owns every inch of land he can, and we have over 75 trailers in the area. I listened to your podcast, and I heard you're in Pittsburgh. I'm from Cannonsburg originally. And by the way, I'm not even close to being a part of the cult, so rest assured you're safe from me telling them anything. So it doesn't matter either way. They listen to us. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's see. I know that there is a rumor going around stating that there is a few who want to start their own section of the cult because they are fed up with the way little man is running it. Yeah, and I let him know about the Pecan Grove, down the street, remember?
Mm-hmm. Oh, the ones that went and did their own
the
cult.
elders that they kicked out, so they started their own cult,
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny, which cult do you want to hit this? Okay, now he tells me, the Pecan Grove no longer exists. It's now a goat area and trailer park for the cult. He pretty much owns most of this road now, so much so that the Red Barn House Road is most of them, and the acres next to it is all them. Now any place that comes up for sale after a certain amount of time, they buy it at below asking because people around here don't want to buy anything so close to the cult. And
makes total sense.
Well, that's what they started doing back in the 90s. And they start bullying people and making your life uncomfortable. And nobody's going to buy acreage out next to a cult. Would you want to live next to a cult, Laura?
Hell no.
When they're walking around armed, they're glaring at you. They're all in your business. They're just making you generally uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They don't tear your fences down. They don't set your place on fire, but they make you uncomfortable.
Just their presence there is creepy enough. I would
hell
think.
Yeah. They own more and more trailer parks, campers, and land than I can even begin to tell you. Even going down towards Eula area, he has bought land. A guy used to talk to moved here down the road next to a friend of mine. He told him and his wife they could join and to only bring their clothes that they could fit into their car. Anything they brought while being here had to revert back to the cult. And they brought a lot of stuff. And when they left with his permission, they couldn't take their stuff.
Because it reverted to him.
Right.
He owned it. Oh, my God.
Well, I think I told you last week that anything that's bought out there now, he's a co-signer on it. And one of the stipulations is if you leave the cult,
he gets it.
He owns it. He's selling it to you. I wonder how many times he's resold the same shit.
Oh, God.
Over and
I can't
over
even imagine
and over
how many
again.
times.
Anyway, he discussed Waco and what happened there and, his dealings with little man and stuff. But I have my own ideas of how things may or may not end. Let's see. I hold on.
Pending post?
We already did pending posts.
I thought you had more. Bread sacks.
I've been so busy this week. I didn't even get to peruse their page. I went to do the show and I went, oh my God, there's this whole folder.
That's so funny.
I spent like 5 hours messaging people
so
back and forth. let's see. I'm just going to post this, but there is a U.S. church that allows nude worship.
Oh, God.
Doesn't he look handsome standing up there?
That's somebody you don't want to see nude. At all.
Claudia B's also in Australia, and she's listening to episode 35 and found it funny how there's an American food aisle in other countries. In Australia, they have the Asian section, and nearly all of the stores have an American section, and of course they all have Pop-Tarts. I mean, is that what people think of when you think of America, is Pop-Tarts?
Oh, I don't even want to begin to imagine what they think of when they think of American food.
I don't know.
Just all a bunch of crap.
I should have screenshot it, and I didn't, but it was the brother of an already member, and he swears that Kool-Aid sounds like an all-purpose cleaning mixture that you don't want to drink.
A cleaning mixture?
Yes. Like, it's a really cool aid for helping you
Oh,
clean.
I was like, oh my God, could you imagine like squirting that like on a countertop? Oh, but so sticky.
He pictures it as
Cool. Okay.
like it's
a
aiding.
cool
It's a
aiding.
cool
It's helping.
aid in cleaning.
It's helping. Gotcha.
He can't even. Dude, I can't remember your name. Your sister's name started with an I and had 3 letters.
Okay.
So send me your address. We'll send you Kool-Aid. Only thing is we use cups and gallons. You'll have to convert it to whatever dry measure you use in liters or whatnot. Anyway, Chris Smith, who did our I Got the Hell Out on Spotify, she's taking suggestions for the Kool-Aid Contributions playlist.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And I thought you had something to read.
Yeah, I have more from that website, which was just as a plethora of information.
It's always a plethora.
So these are just more bullet points. Okay, now this one talks about the whole tax and IRS thing that is quite interesting. He has conspired and allowed tax fraud within the corporation by having the cult books padded and cooked by creating receipts and expenditures and hiding assets from the IRS.
No, really? His ex-wife actually said, and I've spread the word, but I don't know if anybody's done it, just like Al Capone, the best thing that ex-members can do is write the IRS and tell them how much cash and how much other shit they've given him. Keep going.
It says, even flying in a cult member who is an accountant from out of town so she could spend weekends working with others on fixing the books.
Well, of course.
Do you know who they're talking about?
I don't know.
Or do you have an idea?
I don't know now. I do know that my ex-mother-in-law, she was a CPA. And when we started, I think, the restaurant, I started the restaurant, I went to her for some bookkeeping help. And I showed her my books, and she says, oh, look how quaint, like a tea party, which was her way of, smacking me upside my head going, this is stupid. Haven't you ever, kept books before?
Right.
But yeah, I talked at length with her that day, and they actually keep 2 sets of books. And I don't know if I mentioned it before, but when things don't make sense, your brain starts going. Mm-hmm. And Elder S would get up every November at some point and remind everybody to turn in all of the receipts that they've been saving all year.
Oh, yeah, you said they had to save them.
Any receipts that you got, whether it was groceries, baby stuff, your daycare receipts, anything. Because they could be pasted into the books as they paid this.
They paid. Oh.
So how much, even if you bought a new refrigerator that was $800 and you give them that receipt, suddenly they bought a member who's very poor.
They helped them out.
They helped
How
them.
nice.
Because the receipts prove everything.
Unbelievable.
The system is so screwy, Laura.
Unbelievable.
I'm telling you. And how much free will offering that was put in is cash. Mm-hmm. And they also, you weren't supposed to see it, but the guys would they'd have a gold or a silver coin. Mm-hmm. And they would be dropping it into their offering box, and he put a gold coin in there. Yeah. Wow. How much money does this man have? That's why they killed Robbie, because Robbie was robbing him of the cash. So
man,
that's a lot of cash.
Oh shit. Several years ago after his arrest, he had his slave workers burn boxes and boxes of receipts.
Well, yeah. Those are probably the ones that they didn't paste into the books yet. Because you can only siphon so much. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Say, just for shits and giggles, they get 10 grand a month. Okay?
Okay.
They do have operating expenses.
Right.
Electric, whatever. Of course, they got solar out there, so who the hell knows what expenses they have. And they are allowed to deduct so much in expenses.
Right.
Now, let's just... And, believe it or not, elders that are considered dedicated to the work, like you know, the bitch I love to hate and her husband, they get a paycheck from the cult because they're dedicated to the work and that's their job.
Okay.
And I had somebody tell me, you know, that the bitch was getting like $400 a week.
That's a hell of a lot different than $1 an hour.
Then $40. The woman who told me this said that she was over to the bitch's house for counseling. And I guess she accidentally left the pay stub out. I mean, when people leave shit out, it's fair game to look at it. And she said she was in shock that, you know, the bitch I love to hate was getting $400 a week. And then she told me that after she left the cult, she found out that those two have a gambling problem and they quite often go off to Vegas. So, I mean, if she's getting $400 a week, how much is her husband getting?
Right.
So anyway, after expenses are all said and done, let's just say they have $3 grand left. Now, they can easily put $3,000 worth of receipts into there, but you can't put more than you have.
Right.
So, in my opinion, those were the extras that they couldn't use. So, yeah. What a lovely system. Keep going.
Oh, so godlike.
So very. Meanwhile, nobody, absolutely nobody that I spoke to, that my time in there and my time out, does anybody remember receiving a penny of third tithe help for the widowed and the fatherless. I mean, there was one lady named Dawn and her husband that had driven from New York, and she had talked to the office and was like, I have gas money to get there, but I have nothing else. And they told her, come anyway, God would provide. And we gave her a half a bag of apples and like $5. It's all we had to give. But
and they couldn't give anything.
They should have.
That's what I'm saying, but they just were like, oh, no.
But I will never forget the shame in her eyes as she was going to campsite, trying not to cry because she needed gas money to get, and she never came back. Would you come back?
Hell no.
Yeah.
Can't
Especially when she was told, we'll help you get back. God will help you. But see, God helped her by all of us helping her.
Right.
Yeah. Keep going.
Little man spends tithes and offerings on himself, taking cash out of the tithe box whenever he needs money.
Yeah, because it's not accounted for.
He considers himself the high priest who can live off the tithes, but others can't.
Exactly.
Now we're going to...
Well, of course, God's paying him. That's his
That's
reward.
Right. For being little man.
Yeah, with his high-up toilets and gold bathtub and whatever he wants.
God. After Kay divorced him, he started to spend the wealth which he kept hidden during his marriage, buying hundreds of acres of land and dozens of houses.
Well, he started... I don't know when he started, but I knew he was in the process of buying everything he could from the time I got there. And when I knew of 3 houses on the lake, and lake houses are not cheap out there.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, because there's only so many of them. So you get a good price for it. Location.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
After she left, he didn't have anyone to keep him in check. Before his divorce, he transferred assets and property into loyal followers' names in order to keep her from getting any of this money in the divorce settlement.
Of course.
His estimated worth is... You want to guess? I don't know if this is a typo. I don't know. But this is, according to this website, what his estimated worth is.
Well, I just read you what Chachi told me about... He actually owns one of the very few last plots that doesn't belong to Little Man. I can't even begin to imagine how much he owns and what he's worth.
Okay, and it says it could be more because he has assets in other people's names, trust accounts, and offshore accounts.
Well, hell yeah.
And he is known to have several different social security numbers.
I can tell you, I found myself at the courthouse one day, and, it's public record who owns what, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just for shits and giggles, I couldn't really think of who to look up.
Mm-hmm.
So the only one I looked up was my ex-father-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
He owned 8 properties listed to him.
Oh, wow.
8.
That's
And that
yeah.
was just him.
So what do you think Little Man's estimated worth is?
10 million.
30 million.
Oh my God.
30 million.
And you know what? That estimate probably doesn't even begin to touch it.
Well, that's what he was saying here. He's saying that he has assets in other people's names, offshore accounts.
The original acreage out in the other county where, the big places that we'd all go feast, that was donated by the man. It was a farm. And he somehow sucked this man in, and he lived in the farmhouse, but the rest of his farm was transformed into the cult now. And they're trying to become self-sustainable with wells and solar power and growing things and the fish pond. But from what I hear, it's a nightmare. They don't really know what they're doing, but they're trying. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's like packing a backpack and going extreme camping, but you didn't bring matches.
Good luck.
You forgot your water purifying tablets.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. Is that all we have to read?
That's all we have for this week.
Okay.
30
million.
That is nuts.
That's an estimate.
You know it's higher than that.
I would know it's higher than that because now that he's owning everything, how much is all of that land worth? Seriously, what's he gonna do? Maybe he's gonna make his own city. Wouldn't that be crazy? Own town.
Yep, I wouldn't.
How much land do you have to own to make your own town?
No clue.
Anybody out there? Can you help us out?
Anybody out there have their own town? Let us know.
Well, I've read articles where people have started their own town.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
There's a town somewhere that there's only 2% crime, because in order to live there, you have to own a firearm, you have to know how to use it, and basically the 1.5% of crime comes off the highway.
Ah.
Can you imagine pulling into a gas station to rob it, and everybody in there pulls a gun on you? Oh, and thank you, Walmart. I'd like to say thank you to Walmart for bringing back the mom and pop gun shops, because Walmart's Walmart, and now they refuse to sell guns and ammunition. Okay, so guess what? All the mom and pop gun shops back in business. Anyway, speaking of weapons, Laura F. She sent a link here so you can get me my nunchucks.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, you better get them for me.
To go along with your stabby stick and your, what was that other thing?
My stabby stick and what?
It was like the little wire saw thing.
Oh, yeah, the saw.
What's that called?
Survival saw?
No, it had some kind of name, damn it. Anyway.
Garrett?
No.
I don't know.
Anyhow, moving on.
What did I have here? Why can I never find what I'm looking for?
Because that would just make too much sense, right?
That would make too much sense. Hold on here.
What was it? Was it one of the things that was in the folder?
Things in the folder. Oh, there was so much in the folder.
That's funny.
I just can't believe there was like 30 people. Okay. Oh, yeah. Michael. No, his last name's Michael. Well, Tanner. Now everybody knows who he is. Well, it could go either way. Michael Tanner, Tanner Michael.
True.
He's on episode 19, and he was trying to figure out who the cult is. Mm-hmm. And he private messaged me, and I kind of gave him a hint, and he was...
Did you guys have a nice chat?
He's like, holy fuck, I feel dumb. So, well, shit, at this point in time, Laura, if anybody wants to find the cult, all you have to really do is type my name in, type I got the hell out, and it's all linked together. You know how you Google something? For shits and giggles, I Googled my name. And all this stuff came up about the podcast, my own Facebook page. But at the bottom of the Google page, it always shows you what other people related searches. The cult is there.
Wow.
In related searches.
All right.
Yeah. Let's say. I don't know. He says something about in 2008, 460 kids were sieged from there, but I don't see it. I think that was a different cult. So, I don't know. And Marissa would like a shirt, but the larger sizes, anybody out there who wants a shirt, I have to compile a list because they're X amount of dollars if you only buy one. Which is
right.
kind of expensive.
So it's like the more you get, the cheaper they are.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay. I have these written down of which ones I want to talk about, and it would just be too easy, wouldn't it? It would just be too damn easy.
Well, then this wouldn't be the shit show, right?
I don't know. Antonia says she thanks us for what we're doing, and they're a data analyst and transcriptionist. If they can help us in any way, shape, or form, but I don't even know what that does. Do you?
I don't.
Yeah, and she says we helped her some difficult times. And I hear from so many people that just listening sometimes, it helps them out. Like, I can't tell you how many people were in a cult-like atmosphere. And other than their ex-cult members, they have nobody else that they could go, me too. Oh, and you know what Melissa P says? This should be interesting. Hi, Deb. I'm on episode 38 of I Got the Hell Out. I heard y'all talking about getting approved to see someone in prison. Unfortunately, I have experience with this. I have a family member, that situation. It's not a horrific crime, just a big mistake. People make mistakes. Anyway, the inmate does not have to approve. You just fill out a form and send it to the prison and they approve you.
So you can just go waltzing on in.
I guess, but does the prisoner have the choice of saying...
Maybe they have the choice of saying...
I don't want to see them?
I don't want to see them, right.
Okay, because that would be pretty crappy to go all the way to that state to, confront pedophile elder and they won't...
I would say they probably have a choice whether to go in that room.
I wonder if they tell you who your visitor is or if you... a visitor. And they get all excited and then they come waltzing out. And it's not who they thought it was.
Dun, dun, dun. And there's you sitting there.
Silence of the Lambs type shit.
How funny would that be? Pedophile elder comes waltzing in and there's you.
I don't even know what I would say to him at this point. That was Kenny's best friend. And to this day, Kenny thinks that little girl framed him, made it all up. And it's like, no. That was Kenny's best friend. And of course, because that was Kenny's best friend, I hung out with wifey.
The wife.
Yeah. And she was my best friend. Our kids grew up together for the first 5-6 years until I left. Do you know what I mean? And I always thought it odd that he would take the oldest girl, which wasn't his, it was his stepdaughter, to the bathroom and bathe her while my friend was making dinner.
Oh my God.
And then he'd come back for the boy and the girl that were his. And I always thought in my head, why wasn't he bathing the two girls together? But it wasn't my place to say anything.
Right.
And years later, it made sense in a sick, fucked up way.
Makes a lot of sense.
In a very sick, fucked up way. I can't begin to tell you how bad things are out there from the people that I've talked to. I know where I wanted to go. I gotta find her text. Hold on. But I don't remember where it is. What? It's the shit show.
It's early. It's blame it on being early.
Early and hungry. Okay. Now, here we go. I found it.
All right.
Thieves have stolen a unique solid gold toilet worth up to $1 million pounds.
Oh, I saw that in the news.
From
I
the
saw that. Was it
birthpla-
Winston Churchill or
From
something?
the birthplace of wartime leader Winston Churchill. Do you think little man stole the toilet to go with his bathtub?
I wouldn't put it past them.
Really?
You think?
I don't know. I heard a very interesting
Oh, I know
rumor.
someone's taking a crap in the $1 million toilet.
Why would you need a toilet worth $1 million? Would you use a regular toilet brush on it? Gold is a very soft material. Come on.
How much money do you have to have that you get a $1 million toilet?
I can't.
I mean, and honestly, you're taking a crap in it. Come on, let's be real.
I don't know. Why would you need a solid gold bathtub? Things that I don't know. I can't wrap my mind around. Do you know what I mean? I'd like to say thank you to our spy who continues to suffer through the, breaking prophecy.
Right. What's going on?
There's just a bunch of the same crap. The world's coming to an end. You need to come.
But we don't know
find
exactly
us.
when, right?
Right.
Okay.
Even though he is time and he knows what's going to happen.
He's digital time.
Digital.
He's digital time.
Digital. Would you like to hear the interesting rumor?
I would love to.
That I can't figure out why.
Okay.
Okay. Apparently he's kicking all of the men out who do not have more than one wife. You have to have 2 or more.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so before this it was just allowed, it wasn't encouraged. Or
well, for whatever reason, I don't know. Does that make them more in unity because they're all breaking the law and they're all polygamists? And there's not a man there. Maybe they got people, undercover working there. I don't know. Or
maybe that will keep them in the cult, because if you have 2 wives, you can't leave the cult. Where the hell are you going to go with 2 wives?
Well, you can. I had a couple friends leave, and they left as a unit, but none of them are still together. I only know of 2 families that left, that the man left with more than one wife. And in both instances, none of them are together. The man's not with either wife in either situation. So that, I mean, what do you do? Go and join the Mormons when you leave the cult? I don't know.
Well, that's what I mean. Where you can't just show up in some random neighborhood.
Well,
hey, it's me and my 2 wives.
Well, in this country, believe it or not, it's allowed. I know somebody who was a maintenance man for one of the apartment buildings around here. Mm-hmm. Okay. And apparently they're from another country. I'm not going to name the country.
Okay.
And it was a man and his wife, and they lived in this building for a few years, right?
Mm-hmm.
He goes on a business trip and comes home with wife number 2, who's about 10 or 15 years younger than wife number 1. Now, here's where the problem comes in. Wife number 1 has the big bedroom with the master bathroom. Wife number 2 is given the spare bedroom and access to the powder room. Well, there's no shower or bathtub in the powder room. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And she's not allowed to go through wife number 1's bedroom to get to the shower. So there was a big hair-pulling kerfuffle, screaming. Cops were called. But see, because he's a citizen of another country where they're allowed to have more than one wife, right. Voila, he's in this country and has more than one wife.
Right. But it says, I'm looking here, it says, polygamy was outlawed federally by the Edmunds Act in all 50 states.
Good
as
Lord.
Well as D.C., Guam, and Puerto Rico.
Well, guess what? We have shows here in America, Escaping Polygamy. What's that one dude who had 6 sister wives? How do you tape a show like that?
Without arresting them.
Well, see, they get around it the same way the cult does.
It's religion.
He was only legally, on a piece of paper, married to one of those women.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The other ones, just like the cult, they're married through the church. So there's no paper record of it. And I used to remember them laughing at the loopholes that they would always use. Because this is America. You don't have to marry somebody if you don't want to. Mm-hmm. You can have sex with as many people as you want to. One right after the other. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You can be married and have a mistress. People will look down on you. But if you can keep it secret, who's the wiser? But it's not against the law. unless your wife wants to press charges, which will end in divorce. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But that was one of their sayings out there, that you can have as many girlfriends as you want in life. You can have a man, you watch Jerry Springer, a man can go out and have 20 children if he wants to. There's no law against it. And they used to preach that they were so much better than the guy who was married and cheating on his wife. Because in the cult, even though you may not know your husband has a second wife, he's required by God to take care of her.
It all comes down to what God wants.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And what God says.
Gotcha.
And seeing that little man is God and time and
Whatever he
Father,
says.
Son, and Holy Ghost all rolled into one.
That's right.
Yeah. And they would teach that it's so much better than being out in the world. And it's the same deal. You can have as many girlfriends as you want, as many kids as you want. So their way was better.
Gotcha.
But yeah, how do we have TV shows like this that it's okay?
No clue.
You know, I spoke with Tony, and you know, he was from Utah, where it's Mormon up there, and it's common for them to be married at a very, very early age. By the way, hi Tony, I've learned so much about Mormonism, more than I've ever wanted to know. They all wear funny underwear. He sent me a picture, I think, or somebody sent me a picture of Mormon underwear. But a lot of times the women would be wearing 3 pairs of pantyhose.
Ooh.
To make it not.
Oh God.
To make it not see to hide the underwear, the magical underwear.
3 pairs.
It's like compression. Because I guess they're made out of linen and they're all wrinkly and you have to wear your special magical underwear. I don't understand it. But interestingly enough, he let me in on the fact of his family is a direct line descendant from the original guy who started Mormonism.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I asked him if he was born there, and he kind of chuckled, and his family lineage goes back and back and back and back down to his ancestors, you know, walked from New York, Ellis Island to Utah to start this stuff.
Wow.
I can't even begin to imagine, you know, being born into it like that. My son Jesse had a hard time adapting at some points. I've heard from other ex-members, like some of the ex-child members who were homeschooled. Well, they got out and decided to do something with their lives, and they're in college. Great, right? Guess what? No one ever taught them how to study. No one ever taught them how to write a paper.
Oh my gosh.
No one taught them research tactics.
And that's all the stuff you're doing in college.
Right.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine not knowing how overwhelmed you would be?
How frustrated.
Yes. Even women leaving the cult, they have a lot of times no idea what things cost because they're not out. They haven't worked. My one friend wanted out so bad, and she loved her husband and didn't want to leave him, and she had 5 kids. Now, she joined the cult with the boyfriend and the boyfriend's family from out of state. She ran away from home. So she didn't have her birth certificate. She didn't have her social security card. Never had a driver's license. Never had a job. And now has 5 kids. How do you escape?
Where in the hell is she going to go?
She was never taught, you know, any of the stuff that she needed to do in life, because when you're at the cult, you don't have to think anymore, remember? Mm-hmm. There is no thinking aloud. It's all... I spoke to an ex-member, and they actually left when things started getting really, really crazy out there. And he really doesn't understand how there's followers left, but they're there. Go figure. I think you should go to a feast this year. What?
I think not, because I'll have to buy some kind of robe and...
We got to get pictures of these robes.
Yeah, we do.
I really want Grim Reaper style. Oh my God. But they're gonna, you know, they have to be ridiculous in some ridiculous color.
Oh,
purple and gold.
Of course, because then like the next feast will be like a different color.
Well, from what I understand, his 4-color rainbow, because he doesn't understand
right.
physics.
Or prisms and all that good stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
They went through all of the colors, and each of the colors represents something. Green, purple, gold, and I forget what the other color is. But now in his 4-color rainbow, he's run out of
You can always do patterns.
patterns. Like checks and polka dots.
Stripes. Oh, he's got tons of stuff.
Well, I showed you that picture that they had on
Tie-dye.
tie-dye. Do you think Jesus would have wore tie-dye?
Absolutely.
I mean, he hung out with the sinners, wore sandals, turned water.
Tie-dye and Birkenstocks.
Can you imagine how much money you'd save hanging out with Jesus? Jesus, let's get drunk tonight. Here's some water. Come on. Seriously. You just look at me and roll your eyes.
I'm thinking tie-dye should be the next one that they do.
Okay. Little man, we know you're listening.
Tie-dye.
Tie-dye. By the way, rumor has it, because I can't confirm shit. I can only tell what people know and have told me. Mm-hmm. Little man has taken 3 more wives this month.
Oh, so what's that? What's the count?
I don't know.
Oh, God.
It's well up there.
Do we know the ages of them?
Young.
Well,
that's all I know.
That's all you know. Okay.
And another member told me that he basically lures them in, the younger ones, and he puts them up in one of the nice houses at first.
To make everything look all fancy.
Oh, hunky-dory.
Yeah, like, hey, this is what's in store for you.
And in all actuality, then they're moved into the most crumbling, rundown trailers and stuff. And it's heartbreaking because once you have kids, do you know how much harder it is to leave with a little mouth to feed, no one to call? What do? And there's not a lot of resources in that town. There's the Salvation Army and the Goodwill.
That's only going to get you so far.
There's a couple of churches that I'm sure would help you. But yeah, it's only going to get you so far. Especially since, they have that town bamboozled now that they're so great somehow. I don't get it. I really just don't get it. Do you?
No.
I still think you should infiltrate. Come on.
No.
Okay. Do we have any good screenshots on here? Why don't you know, Laura?
Why don't I know what?
Remind me and I will show you my 2 rooms I cleaned.
Is it your version of clean?
Hell yeah.
All right.
But depression's a bitch and everybody's shit is
preach
different.
to the choir.
And Thursday night I decided, I gotta do something. Mm-hmm. And I only planned on doing a little bit here and a little bit there, but then once the ball started rolling downhill and I started seeing progress, I was
That's awesome.
Yeehaw. So yeah,
that's awesome.
I did 1 room each day, and I wish I had a before picture of the kitchen, but I don't. And thanks to Cosette, she gave us some culty propolis face mist.
What?
Yeah, it has propolis in it. Because remember, you were supposed to have propolis and honey and all that shit.
Yep.
I still don't understand how people can afford all that shit out there. Anyway, take care of yourself, guys. If you gotta cry, if you gotta go to therapy, scream, be alone, quit your job, get a job, tell anyone that doubts you to kiss your ass. Whatever you need to do it. Because you're the only one that's gonna be with you your entire life. You're the only person you're gonna wake up to every freaking morning. Am I wrong?
Nope.
I personally cry in the shower and pretend all my shit's going down the drain. You?
I've never done that, but that's a good way to think of it.
Yeah. And, all of your friends and stuff, just because somebody carries their pain well does not mean that it's not heavy.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
A lot of people, and myself at times, very good actors.
Oh, yeah.
Just because you have a lot of shit going on, and it's just easier
to smile and say, it's all good.
When people say, how are you doing? I'm fine.
I'm good. Meanwhile, inside you're screaming, going, I'm dying. And, when you give as much energy to what you want in life than your fears and your doubts and the what ifs, that's when things start to happen. Guys, give it all for what you want, because there ain't nobody else in this life that's going to get it for you, do it for you. And fuck the notion that you have to be nice to be seen as spiritual or as a good person. You need to respect your boundaries. You need to not let people take advantage of you. And sometimes you do have to feel anger. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, not all the time. But do you know?
Well, it's what you do with that anger.
Well, did you know that anger is an emotion that you choose to feel? Helen Keller, I think it was Helen Keller, she was quoted as saying, nobody can make you feel inferior without
Eleanor Roosevelt.
That was it.
That's one of my favorites. I know that because it's my favorite.
Nobody can make you feel inferior without your consent.
Right.
Like, I got these new jeans on, and I like them.
I love them. They're awesome.
And my mother came over, and I'm like, look what I got at a yard sale for $1. And she looked at me and says, those are the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. And I could have let that hurt my feelings, but I didn't.
Right.
Because they're my jeans. I didn't ask her to wear them.
And because you know they're awesome.
Right. Yeah, I know they're awesome. And, I don't know. I love you, Mom. They're cool jeans. Very cool jeans. And I'm going to start learning how to do my hair like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's Viking hair.
That's Viking hair.
Yeah. Vikings did not have horns on their helmets. That's a myth.
Okay.
And they were very much into beauty and stuff and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm going to start doing Viking hair.
There you go.
I don't know how well I'll do it.
Give it a shot.
Anyway, guys, when someone's broken, you can't fix them. And when they're hurting, you can't always take away their pain. But you can simply be there for the friends and the people that you love. Sometimes that's just enough, and sometimes it's what people need. Mm-hmm. We all need to start taking care of each other. That's what the world needs more of. Am I wrong?
Nope.
I don't know. Do you have anything to add, Laura?
Nope.
You don't have to solve your whole life overnight. Your life didn't get to this point. Whoever's listening, you didn't get to where you're sitting right now overnight. You don't have to be ashamed for being where you are. All you got to do is focus on one small thing you can do today to get closer to where you want to be. And eventually it'll happen because...
Small steps.
I woke up one day and I went out of the cult. But did I leave that day? No.
No, you can't.
But I worked on small steps.
Yep.
Every day trying to figure out how to get out. And by the way, guys, nobody has life figured out. We're all faking it most of the time. You think that person that's in life that's got it all figured out? No, they just figured some shit out and they're faking the rest of it.
Again, good actors.
I'm a good actor, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
We all have to be good actors sometimes. But stay away from people who think you're arguing every time you try to express yourself. Stay away from negative people. And that's kind of harder than, when somebody is a good friend.
Yep.
But they're always negative and draining.
Yes.
It's hard to say goodbye. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
But we're going to go get pierogies.
Yeah, we are. Ride some roller coasters.
Well, guys, send us more questions, thoughts and ideas. I really didn't get to everything I wanted to get to today, but that's okay.
There's next week.
There's always next week. Do you know that?
Mm-hmm. Really? Words of wisdom, right?
I am so freaking hungry.
So am I.
Anyway, guys, sorry for the semi-short episode, but it's early morning. Oh, my God.
It's early. We're hungry.
Yep. And on that note, this has been Deb.
And Laura.
Reminding you to be kind, be good, and eat your pierogies.
That's right.
Bye.
Bye.